time to revisit the bottom pulley, and now that I know where the blower's going to sit, like that's done. I had to make slight filings here and there down the bottom down there just to make it right, you know, but now it sits nice. So I've got that. The blower's not moving though. And I realised the front wheel is just going to be here, and it rotates this way, so a lot of rubbish is going to be flicked up. And I have to be mindful. It'd be down that centre line, but it'll come out in the fan from the front wheel. So, you know, that's fair game, that pulley area, for any bits of dust and rocks. And from what I know about belts, they don't like grit. They don't like it at all. So I was going to put this cover on there, and I was thinking, yeah, that would be nice and all that, but I've gone off that idea now, because I want to have it so that if any dust and dirt does make it, it's got a chance of falling out, you know, and that sits out a little bit, so it could spit stuff out, not just force it to do loops and stuff like that. So I might just leave that a little bit open, so that it can force, you know, or dirt can fall out. I can shape it, you know. I'm going to cut that off level because there's no point being stronger, so I've textured that in, but now I'm just going to have to, now I can make a bit of a guard if I sting up. This is going to come up in a bit of a range, so I've figured that'll be as high as we'll need to go, somewhere around there, and it may go slightly lower, but remember I've got a different pulley to put on here, but I've got a shorter belt coming, whatever, hopefully it works. So then I'll make a tab along here, bring it up to about the belt, and then if any rocks come down, they'll hit the belt, they're gone, you know. So that's it. I haven't completely taped it up yet, but that'll go on there like that. That's just sort of stuck on there. That's it on, like that. Any rocks coming over, you know, they're not going to go in there. That's pretty good. Anything coming this way, which is coming this way, no, it's not going to be that interested in sort of going down the throat down there, so that's, no, it's just not going to be interested. I think that'll do it, but I've just been looking, okay, where's my steel? And all I have is this in 3mm. All I have is this, and that's not, you know, it's not big enough, even with the bending over. I'm going to have to maybe, you know, weld 3 sheets of it together, because I have to sort of put that back down again, cut it and lay it open. I can do it out of 2 sheets. That's a 50mm wide sheet, and that's down to 100, so that's 100 there. So I've had to cut a few tabs off it, that tab that ran across the top here, and this tab here that was going to run between the belts. Oh, that went that way, I think. That's too low, so I had to get rid of that. Nothing more than that. That should, by the time I bent that around, that'll be the face side, so it doesn't be too pretty, otherwise it will upset the rest of the balance of the bike. So that's about it. Now bending bit. Just thinking about how I'm going to do this. I've got the bottom one bolted, and these two I've just taken the bolts out, so it fits in there okay. I might bend one tab over, put it back in, then I can put these big blocks of metal, thick blocks of metal. I can lay them either side there, and I can bend a tab over, then I can lay that one out that way. Bend that tab over, and then I can lay that one out that way, and then bend that tab over. And just be careful that I bend right on that line so it fits on there. If not, I have to trim it back or something. So this is the least critical one. I've got it just on the bottom line. It's a nice sharp edge on there, so when I bend it over, should work okay. So we'll see where it goes. It's always a good day when you can hit something with a hammer. Yeah, it's not wanting to bend right on that. some light on there. Oh, that's done it there. So let's have a look what it looks like over here. Not too bad, and the dot for the pulley wheel is somewhere around just about there, so yeah, that's okay. Now the bottom one. Now that's a cock up. I got that wrong. See that line there? That should be back there level with this one. It's not. And that dot there represents where they should be, and it'll be somewhere down to that line there. So it's hitting there. It's not in the way because it goes underneath the belt, but that's. I have to maybe bend that straight and bend it back again. I don't know. I bent it straight again, which is never nice, and remarked it against the one on there, so I've got a new line, so I'll give that. Woo. It joins up okay. Okie dokie, let's have a look. Woohoo! Where's that screw? There it is. Oh, it doesn't want to go in. Okay, so that's an issue down there. Or is it? Let's have a look. Move. I reckon just that bending there. Just a little bit of a file to take that rounded bit off there. And I'll probably do it. We shall see. Well, we shall see what's going to go on here. It feels like where it wants to go. That's it. I can feel it just rubbing a little bit, so it's right. So I've got a little poking out there. That's just a mite. Got a little bit of poking out there. That's nothing. That's just a bit of shifter work. That's all good. When it comes down, there's a bit of an air gap down there, so if any crud makes it in, it at least got one way of getting out there and a secondary way of getting out there. This can get out there, at least air can flow through. I don't know if it's good or bad, no idea. So that dot I need to make it 8mm wide and cut all the way down to there, which makes it convenient. Round it off with a file up here a little bit. Cut it down, I won't bother touching that, that should be enough range. But I'll set the pulley up now and we'll have another look at it. Now what have we got going on here? We have got that. Yeah, it's going to touch into that, it's going to rip teeth off. It's all good down there, it's okay. I'll have to mark that. And spot weld the whole thing on because I don't think it's too thin for me to run a line. I can't do it. So, but I can certainly go bzzz. Okay, I'm going to show you how this all goes together now. Now I've made it. That's been smoothened off, so it's 3mm plate. As you can see the welding through there. I've yet to paint it with Penetrol, but I'll do that. That's just a bolt with a washer on it, and that's just a nut with a flange on it. When I do this up, it tends to just lock itself on. That's the adjustment range. I'm somewhere near the top at the moment, so the belt can stretch. Because of spacing, I've got a wide washer there and a thin one there, which makes it the right thickness. I think that's 3.5mm. That'll go in there. I've now Loctited on that little thing I made up. That's Loctited on the end, cut down and Loctited. I've measured how much I need there. Then I've got a nut, and I drilled it out to 10mm because that's what that shaft is. Took the sharp edges off it to make it just more or less a round piece. That fits in there. Now that thing, see, I don't know if you can see that, just slightly proud of the bottom there. So Which way around? This way around. In it goes. Got to get that lined up. Don't have to make it tight for now. It's all got to come apart to get penetrated. So that one goes on there. I don't think I'll Loctite it in. I've also put the spaces. I had locator spaces in here. I put them back in again so the bolt won't wiggle around so much, so it locates it better. But the whole thing sits there nice. Now this is the tricky bit. The spaces in there. The tricky bit because getting them all in the right order. Now I've got a locator here. That'll go in there. That will go up here. There we go. And that goes all the way home. That has now a washer on there, and I don't know if I have the grub screws yet to figure out. I think I've just got to make some indentations for those grub screws. They'll lock on. They'll come up flush with the thread when that's locked on. This one here goes down like this, and if I turn this, oh, too tight. Now that's tight now. Well, just firm tight. I can just move it, but it's square. So exactly how much slop I want on there in it, that is near the top. Drill a hole for my grub screws, and I just can't figure out how to do it. So the drill wouldn't touch it. So I just put a clamp thing on there for the weight of it, and I put a stone in the drill, and then just sort of letting it go. And we'll see what happens over time. See if I can get something in there. Because the drill just won't drill it. So it's been going for a long time now, so I'll just show you what's happening down here. You can focus on that. Seems to be doing something slowly, but that's like a half an hour's work. Anyway, another spot that had me worried, but I think I've gotten away with it. Like that grub screw's not in that one, but the grub screw is in that one. So one grub screw in. After, I don't know, hours on the machine, it's done it. See that? Apparently that's enough. And you can see just a little, just a little centre. There we go. There's that little centre mark. That stone somehow makes a centre mark. See that? So, and that scratches is where the drill bit went awry, and I had to clean that up. Anyway, so let me put that together. So I've got that lines up with that one. Yep, that lines up with that one, and I go in there. Ah, see that? You can see it. That line. Ooh, now I've lost it. Anyway, you could see it how that dot lines up, and the dot lines up with that one as well. So. And that's exactly the point it wants to be. So I've gotten away with my measuring, and it's about a half a turn when I put it in there, and then I move it and I put it not in there, and it makes about a half a turn difference. So it screws in about a half a turn. So that's that whole thing done now. It's going to be really tricky putting it together, but to have the belt on first, Loctite it in, and all that sort of stuff. But I'll get around all those problems. So I'm happy with that. Just to wind this video up with a little bit of science. See how that, I could shape this stone on the grinding wheel there, just make it round, and it would just sit on there and grind away. But for some reason it made that little mound in the centre, like a little volcano mound. And weirdly enough, the, oops, that's the Allen key in. The other tip, see how it's made like that? Well, that little recess, that little hole they have in there, that fits perfectly in the little mounds they got there. Now, I can only presume the stone doesn't turn so much in the centre, that's why it's a mound, but why they make those like that, I don't know. So it's kind of lucky the two mate together nicely.